These videos will make you question everything. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out.
Ever since my doorman told me his conspiracy theory that he really thinks that all of these billionaires got on this submarine because they were having legal problems and had to get away and escape, I can't stop thinking about it. And I'm just thinking about how seamless this whole process was. I'm skeptical. Ever since my doorman...
Y'all really think people do that? Yeah, huh? Not saying that's the case in this situation. You know what I mean? Because I always think about the families first. You know what I mean? Prayers and condolence, love and light to the families. Remove yourself from this situation. Do y'all think this actually takes place? I don't know why I feel like I could see y'all just sitting there bobbing here saying, yep, they do it. That is insane. Or is it? Maybe I'm the insane one for not thinking it that way. Maybe I should flip it and think about, they were clever. They got out of the situations they were in. You know what I mean? They just have to live their lives off of the grid for the rest of their lives. And they probably cool with that. I don't know. I don't know. And I can only, like who's responsible for us thinking these type of things? Right? The craziness, the manipulation, all kind of things that we've seen taking place has made us think this way.
Hey, can any of you tell me who the hell is digging holes at the bottom of the ocean and maybe why? Hey, can any of you tell me who the
oil? We can start there. And the reason why? Come on. Almighty dollar. People will steal from their brother for the love of money. People will rob it. You know how the song go. I know I'm messing up the lyrics, but you get what I'm saying, though.
In the oceans. That's how you get to the outer realms. So the real outer space is beyond the Antarctica and deep within our oceans. That's why if you look at their outer space missions, they're actually in water, floating around in water somewhere in Las Vegas, Nevada, and deep in the Colorado. They ain't out of space. That's why if you look, it's so many people now putting up showing that these space shuttle missions is fake as man. Showing you that they ain't never been out of space. If you really want to go outer space, get your on a submarine and go deep within the water. That's the true outer space. And there's so many different alien bases and military base underwater and in the actual ground. They're hollowing out mountains now. They're hollowing out mountains. You can Google this, and they're making inside of mountains underground bunkers and underground military bases. So if they're doing that to the mountains, imagine what they're doing underground in space, in the water. So if you want to go outer space, go deep sea diving.
You said it's aliens.
Yeah, aliens. And all alien mean is, so Elion is a Hebrew word. That's where they get aliens from. It's really El Elyon. And that just means of the Most High God. Technically, we are aliens. And that's why they studying us. That's why they stealing our melanin. That's why they trying to understand the functioning of our biological vehicles. That's why they can't understand our circadian rhythm, our biological clocks. We are the most different species of humans that the planet ever had. We're so different than them. Our teeth are shorter than theirs. Their teeth are wider and longer. Their canines are longer than our canines. The hydrochloric acid inside their stomach is hotter than ours. They produce an acidic enzyme in their mouth. We produce an alkaline enzyme in our mouth called amylase and amylose and trypsin. They can break down proteins and meats. Our stomachs can't break down proteins and meats because the pepsin and the hydrochloric acid doesn't get hot enough to break it down. They digestive system can go through something called putrefactions. Ours can't. Ours go through something called fermentation. A lot of them grow tails. Their hair grow towards the earth or towards the ground. It curls and it grows towards the sun. We have high melanin content. Inside of our melanin, we have something called selenium. They have low melanin content. Inside their melanin, they have something called ammonia. And they have a high sulfur concentration inside their cells. And that's why when they get hot, when it get hot outside, they get colder. Or if it get cold outside, they get hotter in the oceans. That's how.
This is why we need more transparency. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about back to when he was talking about if you want to go to outer space, you need to go deep down in the oceans. We're divided as our beliefs of what space is and where space is located. We need transparency. So as much transparency that NASA, the government, or anyone can give us is needed. Because we have people believing, and some people will say, well, it don't matter how much transparency you give some people, they're still going to believe what they believe. Cool. We're not talking about them. Just move them to the side. The ones who are willing to seek the data, receive the data, review it, and then make their you know what I'm saying? As long as you're showing them transparency, I believe we can all get on some sort of one accord. That's what I'm talking about. You know? As for the other stuff he was speaking, I need to look into that. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Okay, I understand it's only 9 in the morning, but I've already been down a rabbit hole and I want to share it with you. And no, I'm not going to pull any cards on this, to be perfectly honest, because I'm still working out the details. But let me know what your intuition says about this, or if you have anything else to add. So I'm just casually rereading The Secret History of the World by Mark Booth again, chapter 9, which starts the discussion about Atlantis. And if you're on this side of TikTok and you're finding this video and you're not aware of what Atlantis is, leave a comment, maybe I'll make a video. I haven't made a video about this, but I've been thinking about the fact that, like, this society that we're in right now was born of ice, and so it makes sense that it might end in fire. But not literal fire, hopefully. Who knows? I don't have to worry about that for some time, so I'm not going to. But it makes sense that we're receiving more energy from the sun, and things are warming up around here if you haven't noticed. But everything began with ice, right? What's this have to do with Atlantis? According to the Plato account, the island of Atlantis had been destroyed about 9,000 years earlier than that account. So about 9600 BC. I'm reading this passage in this book talking about how the structures there, the walls were mainly covered with metals, brass, tin, and a red metal, which is unknown to us, called auricocum. I looked it up. Apparently some's been found, but this is what was interesting to me about this article. According to the ancient Greeks, it was invented by Cadmus, a Greek Phoenician mythological character. Cadmus is the Greek equivalent to Enoch. So we're clear, as in the Book of Enoch. Prior to the time of Enoch, so the time of Jared, his father, was the last time humans and the gods associated with each other. Which,
for people to be like, yo, a lot of this stuff is just fabricated, it's not true. It's interesting how a lot of things kind of ties in together, right? As far as you try to get away from hearing about Enoch, it keeps coming back, right? In some form of fashion and relating to something else that we're in search of information about.
Literally means what it means, but not so literally indicates that the physical world wasn't quite as physical as it is now. Like, we're still connected to the divine in a very real way. We still have a soft spot in our skulls, that sort of thing. Either way, at the end of this article, its ores were used for making brass and zinc compounds and also for healing wounds and sore eyes. I'm not sure what they found in Sicily is the actual thing, because I can see it. But as I'm reading this part in my book, reading about the red metal, this comes to mind. Antarctica's blood red waterfall. Here's a better shot. It's Blood Falls. What if Atlantis didn't sink to the bottom of the ocean? What if Atlantis was covered in ice? What if Atlantis is under Antarctica? This world began with ice. That means it also ended with ice. I mean, why else would all these governments be down there having these research labs? And the only information we know about what's happening in Antarctica is what they let us know. Atlantis was a compilation of 7 islands. The main island is what sunk. Well, how many continents are there? And it makes sense that it would be hiding in plain sight. Okay, I understand it's...
So maybe we shouldn't worry about things melting? I don't know, I'm asking a question. Maybe that could be why they're shouting global warming, you know, and making up reasons as to why we should stop global warming in fear of exposing. I know that seems far from the truth or hard to believe or just pure crazy. But I don't know, man. You know, you have to almost think like that these days. So just don't rule it out. Maybe you're like, man, that's the chances of that being right is 5-10%. Okay, just sit it to the side. But just don't completely rule it out. That's all I'm saying.
I don't care if I get fired anymore. My name is Santiago Hernandez. work at the ports of Long Beach, and things like this happen all the time. I'm done keeping my mouth shut. They always make us sign these legal disclosures not to say anything, but you know what? The public needs to know about this. I don't know if there's portals that are in the ocean or if they got other civilizations, but everything that comes out of there is weird or gigantic or something weird looking. But all these videos, man, it's real, guys. I'm not kidding when I say there's all kinds of creatures out there, or maybe the movies through Hollywood, they're trying to let us know or hint that there's other dimensions and they cross over sometimes. Now, I know I'm not the only one. If you're a driver out there or a port worker, you guys need to just spill the beans too. I can't be the only one that's been seeing these things, guys. All these people, come on, we all seen something, you know it. It's time to speak up. We're not gonna get in trouble. I think the public needs to know already what's going on out here, man. Now, last year I saw a little planet-like ball come out, and the year before that it was a like gigantic dragon, fish-looking snake. I don't know how to explain it. I got a video of that one. I'll click that one right after this one. But if you know any truck drivers that deliver to the ports, send this to them and ask them, hey, honestly, have you seen anything like this? Honestly. Honestly, just ask them, look them dead in the eye. You'll see that what's going on there is if they can't look you dead in the eye when you ask them that, when they respond, if they can't look you in the eye, they've seen something too, and they're scared. Here's the other one that I saw. This is a giant snake-looking thing. I've never seen or heard of anything like this, and it's too weird that the quote-unquote men in black show up, and all the Chinese people don't even want to have contact with us like that day. They all just jump off the boat, and they know the drill. They know to keep their mouths shut and go for a walk. It's a lunch break. Only high-class workers are allowed to work on these kind of things. That's when the ports are closed, and you see the 710 South, it's all jammed up. And the 405 traffic, it's all because of this. They know to shut things down. It's highly classified, guys. Maybe even the people talking about giants and flat earth or glitches in the matrix. Man, at this point, I don't know what could be true and what's not. It's wild out here, guys. If you've seen anything weird or had any UFO or skinwalker, Bigfoot encounters, man, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to know if we're the only ones in Los Angeles, California seeing this, in ports of Long Beach. It can't be just us, guys. These people in China, man, I bet they've seen some stuff. I bet they've seen more than us. Just check this out and share with your friend and let me know, guys. I'll let you guys finish watching this. And as for me, I'm out of here, guys. I gotta get back to work.
What kind of fish is that? Is that an eel? Or what kind of fish?
Follow to see more.
Yeah, that first thing they pulled out of there, I thought they was on like the set of a movie or something. That was like a prop or a part of the movie some kind of way. But then they pulled that fish-looking, eel-looking. I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. It's to the point where that's what you gotta say these days. Like, I don't know. You kind of want to walk past it. If you see it and you just want to kind of cover your face, act like you don't see anything. So they never know that you know. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of world we're living in today. That's crazy, though. You know, imagine if some of this stuff we're seeing is really real.
I'm gonna say it. It's gonna be really unpopular, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't think anybody went to the bottom of the sea in that tin can. with that Xbox controller.
There's another person.
I just don't. And did you see the passenger list? Aside from being a billionaire, did you see that? You know who that was? You know, the train derailments and the chemical spills. So what's happening while everybody's looking for the tin can? I'm going to say it. It's going to be.
It's interesting. A lot of people don't believe what they see, hear, read anymore. Look where we're at with it. That you have a situation happen these days, and the information that's being put out, no one really, I'm not gonna say everyone, but a lot of people don't believe it. That shows you how many times we've been lied to. You're seeing it firsthand. People putting these videos up saying, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That's a person that's been lied to. That's a person that's been scarred.
What if I were to tell you that there's an advanced civilization that lives underneath our very own feet? Another world within our world that you can enter through the North and South Pole. In 1947, Admiral Richard Byrd flew a reconnaissance mission over the North Pole. Byrd reported flying over a lush green area of land beyond the ice. He was greeted by flying disc objects known as flugerods. The flugerods escorted his plane into the inner city. He described meeting the leader of the subterranean race. The leader told him they were concerned with the surface world after the detonation of the atomic bomb. When he returned to the surface world, he reported his findings to the Pentagon. He was ordered to remain silent on behalf of all of humanity. His diary mentions other entrances to inner Earth around the world. In 1997, archaeologists surveyed a large cave system in Belize. The cave extended 3 miles into the earth with tunnels that went deeper. These caves have human sacrifice remains to reptilian deities. It's also noted that scientists recently discovered a reservoir of water that's 440 miles deep beneath our surface. This reservoir has enough water to fill every ocean on the surface twice. Many ancient creation stories of the past all mention of a world within our own. The Mayans mention it in the Popova, an ancient underworld known as Zabalba, a world ruled by reptilian humanoids. The Buddhists describe Agartha as a great kingdom of peace and tranquility, a world of astonishing beauty with an inner sun, underground lakes, and palaces made of the purest crystals. When it comes to our Earth, the truth is we don't know what's at the center. The furthest we ever reached was 7 miles. School teaches us about the layers of the Earth, but we're never told that that's just a theory. So who's to say there isn't an advanced civilization inside our very own Earth? What if I were to tell you that there's an...
Could be. I mean, could be. Very well could be. Everybody knows it or was taught that, no, the Earth's core is hot. It's like molten lava or whatever. It's hot, unbearable. You can't even survive it. But what if that's not the case? What if what we learned isn't the truth? And then the way he made it sound, like the whole time he was talking like a city down on the other side, it sounded like Wakanda to me. You know what I mean? And then it makes my mind go even further, and it's like, man, I wonder if these directors know something and they be trying to make movies to tell us. It's like Wakanda. You know how Wakanda, how you couldn't really see it, and when they flew back there, it was disguised until they got right up on it, and then they flew through the little barrier. Sounds kind of like what he talking about to me.
One of the most amazing things that I had ever seen in the bottom of the ocean. It was while filming for Blue Planet. It was in the Gulf of Mexico. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. And we went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Coincidentally, a few days after this aired on the television that he had made this discovery, when him and his friend were flying the helicopter, it exploded. and he died.
What am I supposed to think? Tell me, what am I supposed to think? I hope it's not the case. I always try to start off with that. I hope this is not the case. But then what happens? My mind goes to thinking of trying to find other situations to validate what I'm thinking. And then the first thing pops into my mind, Epstein. And then you're like, Then you're like, okay, well, what else? Then your mind goes to, okay, the Kennedy assassination. We still ain't got no information on. Then you go to different things and you're like, So then you come back to this and you're like, could that be possible? That something would happen after somebody exposes something?
Those people in that submersible, they're not there. They are, they went to some island with a jet waiting, probably sank the submersible somewhere. They're never going to be found. The submersible's never going to be found. If they are, I'll say I'm sorry. Those people had this set up prior to. They probably took a private jet to a private island in the Pacific somewhere, and then are going to end up living their best life and get out of all of the legal trouble that they were ever going to be in, because they were apparently in some living off of a shell company, paying for everything. No, I ain't believing ne'er a bit of it. Ne'er a bit of it.
Ne'er a bit of it.
Those people in that submersible.
Ne'er a bit of it. I love that. What's my ne'er a bit of it? You know what I mean? What island could they go to, y'all? Who has an island with a submarine port on it? Who could possibly have one of those? Interesting. What island or what area do we not pay attention to? Maybe one day we stumble upon it and we find some people, you know, maybe they'll look different though by the time we figure it out. I don't know. The internet's pretty good, so give it time. We'll see.
This trip to space, we haven't even discovered our ocean.
Honey, I don't have no links or nothing to share. All I can say is that when starts hitting the fan and the aliens start rising up from the freaking ocean, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna look at everybody that ever told me that I was some weird conspiracy theorist and like just a weirdo and that I was shot out. I'm gonna look at all of them and I'm gonna laugh, because I've been saying this for the longest. There's only 5% of our ocean floor has been discovered in all of these years, but y'all send up satellites and spaceships and everything else to go look at other planets, to go discover other planets. Honey, we didn't even discover enough of what's on our own. All I got to say is I told you so. And I already knew. But did I prepare myself? No. Because who the f can prepare for aliens rising out of the ocean? Nobody. But I'm telling you, like 2023 or
trip to space.
Yeah, we kind of pretty much sitting ducks at this point. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to prepare? You don't know what to prepare for. So saying you need to prepare is like, okay, but how? How should I prepare? What should I do? You know what I mean? I don't know what we're up against. I don't know. They could be friendly. They could not be friendly. They could be so advanced that anything we prepare for still isn't going to do nothing. Isn't going to penetrate their force fields. You know what I mean? Isn't going to do any damage to them. Anything. So we might just all need to be sitting there just being like, I told you so. And that's the last thing that we could do before they wreak havoc. I don't know. But interesting nonetheless, man. Y'all get at me in. Let me know what you thought of these videos and these theories that people still have to this day about things that are happening around the world. It's your boy L, man. Until next one, I'm gone.